Hey everybody, it's Alex, the founder and CEO at Motoroso.com, and in this video we're going to take a close-up look at the brand new Baja Designs Fog Pocket LED light kit for the brand new 2021 and up Ford Bronco with the modular steel bumper. And we're also going to show you a detailed step-by-step how-to installation guide so you can get this thing wired up and turn night into day in your off-road adventures. LED lighting is one of the most popular and important modifications for any off-road application, and the folks over at Baja Designs were one of the original leaders in this industry, and that's because they were born out of the elite level of desert racing like the Baja 1000, and they make incredible applications. They're extremely durable and put out tons of light for applications from motorcycles to trophy trucks and everything in between, including the brand new Ford Bronco, for which they've created already a ton of different applications for roof bar mounting, A-pillar mounts, reverse kits, and this Fog Pocket kit. And there are 8 different variations of this Fog Pocket kit, and it includes all of the mounting brackets, hardware, and wiring that you need to install it. And we're going to take you through all of that in this video, but we're also going to be doing many of the other Baja Designs kits on our Bronco, so subscribe to the channel and check those out as they come up. Each of the different 8 configurations comes with 2 of their 3x3 Squadron pods, as well as 4 of their 3x1.7-inch S2 pods, each of which do come in different sort of levels of lighting and lenses and lens colors, as well as I mentioned, all the brackets that you need to mount everything up on that steel modular bumper. They do make kits for the plastic bumper. We're not covering those in this video. It is a lot to choose from. I will take you through each of them now, and I hope that that's helpful and helps you choose what you're looking to buy. We will put links to everything in the description, and if you have further questions, you can ask them here in the comments. You can call us toll free at 833-MOTOROSO, or you can hit us up on live chat at the website. All right, so there are 8 kits, but there's really only 4 major kits. They just each come in 2 different types, and that has to do with the harness type. You either are going to get an Upfitter harness, or you're going to get the switched harness. And the only difference here is that the switched harness has the relays and switches on it, so you can run that up through the firewall and mount separate custom switches inside the vehicle. You're only going to do that if you don't have the OEM auxiliary switches on your Bronco. If you do have the OEM auxiliary switches, which hopefully most of you do, then you want to get the Upfitter kits, and those are a shorter harness that doesn't include the switches, and it's designed to wire in to those OEM auxiliary, and that is a much cleaner installation, and it even costs less in the kit, so that's really nice. That's what we've got here, and that's what we're going to show you how to install. Now, while we're on the topic of the wiring harnesses, it is important to note that all of these are designed to be wired to 2 different switches. Your 4 S2 pods will be on one switch, and your 2 Squadrons will be on another switch, which is handy when you're deciding between going with the SAE kits or the non-SAE kits. Okay, so besides the harness, then you really only have 4 options, and I'm going to split that into 2 separate options. You're either going to go with an SAE approved kit or the non-SAE approved kit. The SAE approved kit literally means that the lights in the kit are approved by our governmental body, the SAE. I don't even know what it stands for, nor do I care, but what it does mean is that the lights are legal for use on the street, and you're not going to get a ticket for having them switched on. So if that matters to you and you really want to make sure this light kit is fully legal, then you're going to want to look at these SAE options. Now, for me personally, this is not something I worry about at all, especially because the wiring harness allows you to have these on 2 separate switches, and you can basically not turn on your illegal ones and not blind other drivers and not get a ticket, and that's just how I look at it. But if you want that legal kit, then that is an option for you. The Squadrons that come in the SAE approved kit put out 2,480 lumens each, and in each of the S2s are putting out 1,130 lumens, bringing the total output of this entire kit to 9,480 lumens. And so your only decision you need to make in the SAE approved kits is between whether or not you want clear lenses on the Squadrons or amber lenses on the Squadrons. That's the 2 ways that they've packaged them up, and all of the SAE kits come with clear lenses on the S2s. Now, while we're on the topic of lenses, the scientists of lighting over at Baja Designs classify their lenses into several different types. They offer spot lenses that allow the light to go far in a more focused beam. They offer a driving combo lens, which has a combination of spot and flood to help have a mixture, and that's a really popular lens. And then they offer a wide cornering lens, which was more of a floodlight that evenly distributes and gives you corner lighting as well. And then they also offer some work lenses or scene lighting that allow you to just, it's more more for use when you're stopped or parked to light up a campground or a work site. Now, coming back to the SAE kits, the lenses that come on the Squadrons are going to be wide cornering lenses. That's part of what makes them SAE certified, is sending that light everywhere and not just super focused and far out in front of you. And then on the S2s in that SAE kit, 2 of the S2 pods are going to have spot beams, and the other 2 are going to have that driving combo lens. The 2 remaining kits, and I think probably the kits most people are going to be looking at, are the non-SAE kits. Now these are going to be the Sportsman and the Pro, and the Pro is going to be their big bad boy that puts off the most light. Now we've chosen the Sportsman kit, and this upgrades your SAE Squadrons up to the Squadron Sports, which put out 3150 lumens each, and it still includes the S2 Sports, which again are 1130 lumens each, and that puts the total light output on this Sportsman kit to 10,820 lumens. Now the lenses that are going to come on these bigger, more powerful Squadrons in the Sportsman kit are going to be spot lenses. So that's going to throw the majority of your light way up further down the road, and then they're going to put wide cornering and driving combo lenses in the S2 Sports to leave the cornering light to your S2 Sports. Now, for those of you looking for the maximum amount of lighting performance, you're going to want to opt for the Pro kit. And that's going to upgrade your Squadron Sports to Squadron Pros, throwing out 4,600 lumens of light through a spot lens. And then you're going to have 2 of your S2s upgraded to S2 Pros, which are putting out 2,450 lumens through a driving combo lens. And then your 2 S2 Sports are going to be still 1,130 lumens through wide cornering lenses. And that brings the total light output of this kit up to 16,360 lumens. That is a ton of light coming off your bumper. Now, beyond just the light output of this kit, what really separates a brand like Baja Designs from the rest of the pack is really the extreme durability and the quality of manufacturing on these things. These things were developed in the harshest of imaginable conditions in Baja trophy truck racing. It doesn't get more harsh than that. And so these things are really going to stand the test of time, handle anything that you can throw at them, and probably, frankly, outlive your Bronco. The housings on these lights are made from cast aluminum and have integrated heat sinks to help control the heat that can come off this amount of light. The lenses are made from a hard-coated polycarbonate material that can withstand significant impacts, and they're sealed with a gasket that can withstand rain and water and are actually submergible up to 9 feet. I mean, if your Bronco's under 9 feet of water, you got much bigger problems than what's wrong with your lights. And they're even impact tested to military specifications. So if you go running into things, banging into things, which you're going to if you're really hitting it hard in the desert, these things are going to stand up to the test of time. They're worth the extra money. I mean, even the bezels on the lights are CNC machined aluminum, right down to every last detail. These things are top of the food chain. So again, we've got the black diamond with the modular steel bumper, and we opted for the Sportsman kit with the Upfitter harness. Now, amber lenses aren't available in the Sportsman or the Pro kit, but they are available separately, and because this is such a high quality product, you have the ability to configure and change lenses if you like. So we went ahead and bought 2 extra amber lenses for our Squadrons, and we got them in the driving combo, so it's not just a spot, and we're going to be swapping those out. So we're going to show you how to do a lens change, and I realize there's a lot that we just covered in the video here, a lot of decisions to make. I hope it helped you make those decisions, and we do have links for everything in the description, as well as the accessories like the lenses. So if you have questions beyond any of this, again, comment section here, or call us toll free at 833-MOTOROSO, or hit us on live chat. Let's go ahead and get started with the installation. We're going to start with a quick tutorial on how to change the lenses because we're switching over to the amber driving combo lenses on our Squadrons. Start by using a 2.5mm Allen to remove the billet faceplate. Then remove the clear lens. Before installing the new lens, make sure the rubber gasket is firmly seated in place. Then install the new lens with the raised portion facing out and the Baja Designs logo oriented up. Replace the billet faceplate with the logo at the top. Carefully replace the 2.5mm bolts and incrementally snug them down in a crisscross pattern, but don't over-tighten them. Now we're going to assemble the mounting bracket, and our finished product will look like this. Start by placing the angled mounting brackets over the studs on the bumper mounting bracket. Make sure to use the correct angled brackets here. There are 3 for the left and 3 for the right. Also make sure to mount them so that the slotted portion of the bracket is above the studs. Place your washers and 11mm nylock nuts and snug them all down. We were able to use a ratchet for the more exposed nut, but the others required a box wrench. Now prepare the pod mounting brackets with the M10 hardware using a washer on each end. Snug these down so the brackets can still be moved when force is applied. Start by installing the Squadron first, by placing the spring washers on the inside of the bracket between the light pod and the bracket, and then the supplied 4mm socket head bolts go in from the sides. The reason you install the Squadron first is that the mounting bolts will be more accessible in this order. Now install the middle S2 and the outer S2. Now we're ready to mount the lights on the bumper. On the inside of the fog pocket, there are 3 bolts at the top. Using a T40 Torx, remove these 3 bolts. It should be obvious which is left and right. For each side, slide the correct mounting bracket behind the bumper in front of the crash bar. Simply line up the 3 holes and replace the T40 bolts. There's a little bit of wiggle room, we push it as far back as it could go and tighten the bolts down. Now let's get ready to start wiring this kit in. The wiring for this kit includes 2 upfitter harnesses for wiring into the auxiliary switches, 2 55-inch splitters for connecting to the left and right sides, and 2 small splitters for connecting the 2 S2 pods. Set aside 1 upfitter harness and 1 55-inch splitter for the Squadrons, and use the rest to begin installing the S2 pods. First, we'll be using our small splitters to connect the 2 S2 pods on each side. Then we'll be running our 55-inch splitter from the driver's side to the passenger side, and then we'll wire in our upfitter harness to the auxiliary switches and connect that to the 55-inch splitter. First, we're going to open the hood, and it's always a good idea to disconnect the negative battery terminal when you're working on anything electrical. Starting on the driver's side, connect the small splitter to the connectors coming off of the 2 S2 pods. Then find the end of the 55-inch splitter that has the male and female ends and connect the male end to the small splitter you just installed. This will make sure that the female connector will be next to the battery once you run it over to the passenger side. Find the other end of this 55-inch splitter and begin passing it up through the fender well into the engine bay in front of the battery. Then run it along the top of the radiator, tucking in the wiring to keep everything clean, and pass it down to the passenger side pods in the opening behind the grille. Always make sure to avoid anything hot, sharp, or rotating. Connect your other small splitter to the passenger side S2 pods and connect that to the 55-inch splitter you just ran across. Now from the engine bay, gently pull back the slack from the passenger side and pull your wiring snug to the driver's side and use zip ties to secure everything along the way, making sure it's not contacting anything sharp, hot, or moving. Next, locate the small bundle of wiring on the driver's side firewall. These are the wires for your auxiliary switches. They are color-coded to each individual switch, and Baja Designs provides a table for understanding which color corresponds to each switch. Now, auxiliary switches 1 and 2 are rated for 30 amps and 15 amps respectively, and the remaining 3 through 6 switches are rated for 10 amps. This fog pocket kit only requires a 10 amp fuse for the 2 separate switches, so we're going to wire into aux switches 3 and 4. Those colors are violet green and solid brown respectively. On the upfitter harness, find the end that has the black ground cable and the clip connector, and strip back 6 to 8 inches of the heat shielding to give yourself some room to work with. Now off the white wire with the clip connector, place the violet and green wire inside the clamp connector and squeeze it together using pliers until you get a solid click. Now run the ground from the wiring harness to the common ground that just sits at the top of the firewall. This bolt uses an 8mm socket. We can take it out, put the ring connector there, and then we can leave this loose because we still have to connect the other wiring harness. Now carefully run the wiring cleanly behind everything and then connect the male end to the female end of the 55-inch splitter. Now you can tightly coil the wiring harness and tuck it behind the battery out of sight using zip ties if necessary. That's the S2 pods all wired up. Now it's time to wire up the Squadrons. Grab the 55-inch splitter you set aside earlier, and starting on the driver's side with the end of the splitter that has the male and female connectors, connect the male to the female of the driver's side Squadron. Following the same path you ran your S2 splitter, run the other end of the 55-inch splitter up through the fender liner, across the radiator, and down to the passenger side where your other Squadron pod is. Connect the male and female end on the passenger side Squadron, and then gently remove the slack on the passenger side by pulling it up through the engine bay. Then pull that all the way over to the driver's side and snug all your wiring and zip tie it together to keep it clean, secure, again avoiding contact with anything that's going to be hot, sharp, or moving. Now grab your upfitter harness and follow the same procedure to connect the clamp connector to the solid brown wire for the auxiliary 4 switch. Then ground this second harness and tighten down the ground bolt. Then zip tie and clean up all your wiring, running it the same way you ran your other harness, and then connect the male to the female on the 55-inch splitter for the Squadron. Bundle up this wiring and zip tie it behind the battery to make sure everything looks clean. Now reconnect the negative battery terminal and then turn the car into accessory mode by just pressing the on button. Flip the auxiliary switches 3 and 4 to make sure everything is installed correctly. If any of the lights do not come on, go back through and check all your connectors and the wiring harness at the auxiliary bundle to make sure that you have a solid connection on everything. All right, there you have it. Hope you found that video helpful. Very, very straightforward install. Looks clean, throws off a ton of light. Now you can still adjust your lights if you haven't over tightened them just by pushing on them or rotating them. Also, we demonstrated you can take this steel end piece off, the wing off, without touching any parts of the light. It's designed to still allow you to use that modular portion of the bumper. If you'd like to buy this kit, we'll put a link to that right here, as well as links to all the versions of the kit in the video description. And you can also reach us toll free at 833-Motoroso. Now, next up, we're going to be doing the reverse light kit from Baja Designs. So we'll put that video right here. Check that one out as well. We hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching.